Hello, my friends, and welcome back to our continued blind Let's Play Homestuck for the PC. My name is FlightlessBird, this is your story-based gaming channel, and today we're gonna have Dave talk to Dave. Yeah, that sounds right. this this is the kind of world that this game exists in. Let's go ahead and get started, my friends. I hope you're all having a wonderful, fantastic day today. As Dave talks to the Dave sprite, this is gonna get really complicated because technically they're the same person. So, who are you talking to? Just telling the troll to step off. Okay, cool. So now you're a sprite. Do you know everything about the game? Well, I knew a lot anyway, because I'm from the future. But yeah, I know more stuff. Like things meant specifically for sprites to clue players in on. But packaging is like, I guess, riddles. Supposed to be cages about it, but I don't really like it. Ask me anything, go ahead, and I'll give you a straight answer. Alright, well, here goes. Why are we so freaking awesome? Well, you know what? That's the best freaking question anybody ever asked. Yeah. So is like everything cool with this John business? Is he gonna be okay? Well, that's up to him. If he decides to wise up and listen to us, if not, well then we just bail everyone out yet again. Okay. All that gear you picked up should let you breeze through the first couple of gates, even at a low level. Later on, you'll unlock the ability to bring your sprite down with you, and then we'll take care of the stuff together. Till then, I guess just mess around and let Jay build up whatever. I'll go kill some time, maybe draw some comics. Like what? I don't know. What's the last one you did? I was in the middle of the Nacho party arc. Oh yeah, I gave up on that halfway through. Well yeah, that was sort of the plan. Making a 10-part story about nachos was always a BS idea. Well, let's do some brainstorm together. Blow everyone's minds. Yeah, sure. That's how this is how I think I'm gonna, I don't know if I'll remember to always do it like this, but try to give him a little bit deeper voice because he's older, I guess. I don't know. Fist bump. Meanwhile, hundreds of pages ago. Uh-oh. Oh, it would have been funny if we actually went back 100 pages or so. You open the package. There's something suspicious inside. Something suspicious, dirty, and smelly. It's a bunny. It's a stuffed bunny. Much like the one held hostage. This is literally 100 pages ago. Briefly by Malkovich's Cyrus the Virus while taunting hard luck protagonist Cameron Poe. It's strikingly similar to the one scooped up from the suit of a Bernie Vegas strip by Cage's Poe and offered to his daughter. A gesture symbolic of tattered exteriors surrounding a heart of gold. Poe wasn't much to look at, but he was a good man. But no, it is not merely like that bunny. The point is about this is that this is a very same bunny. This is so awesome. Included is a note from your best bro, Dave. If you're wondering, yes, I did get claimed for that song, but I left the song in and I left the copyright claim in. You know why? Because I thought that song and that video clip was more important to the plot than removing it. So yeah. Besides, it was a beautiful song. Absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't seen Con Air, go watch Con Air. So hey, since your birthday, I had to get you back for the sick memorabilia you got me. So I got you this god-awful thing, and I just know you're standing there flipping your stuff over it, so you're welcome. It's the actual gross bunny in the movies. That means Nick Cage actually grubbed it up with his clownish no-talent fingers. I would suggest you put it somewhere on display, ironically, but I know you're dead serious about this ridiculous stuff, so you'll probably sleep with the dang thing and nibble its ear and stuff. But the weird thing is, that's what's cool about you. You're this naive guy like Pinocchio, tumbled butt backwards off the turnip truck and started like a Ghostbusters. Well then the fairy godmother kissed your nose or something and you turned out to be not made of wood, and also pretty cool to talk to. One day your gooberish ways are gonna land you in a jam, and I know I'm gonna have to get you off the hook. But it's cool. I got your back, bro. And then we'll meet and hug bump and get each other's filthy white beaters that much filthier. So yeah, peace, dog. TG. Should have done that in his voice, but I wasn't entirely sure it was him. I mean, the red text, but it could have been anyone. Rocketing! We're the Rocket Man. Okay, I don't know the song. It's just Rocket Man. Reconsider. Oh, so we went straight up and we decided, no, that's a bad idea. Get pestered by Dave. Hey, did you blast off like a spazzy douche yet or what? Well, yeah, of course. There's no way I wasn't gonna try out this sweet ride. God dang it! What do I have to do to make you believe me? Fist bump my future self till I get bloody knuckles writing even sappy B-Day note in my own blood on the back of the future poster? Relax. I'm not going through the gate. I'm just, flying around and having a good time with this guy. Ah, okay. So you believe me then about future me and like him turning into a floating sword bird? Okay, I don't know anything about that, but it doesn't matter. You're my best bro. If you say not to go, then I won't go. Hey, can you hold on? I'm getting trolled again. Ah, man, if we're just concluding anything, it's like talking to those D-bags would be priority number one. So yeah, go right ahead. Okay, be right back. CG. CG is, I think I know CG. Yeah, I know CG. I keep scrolling backwards through your adventure, trying to piece together how you botched this up so badly. And I keep finding these striking pockets of foolishness. Like what you're doing now, riding your little red rocket. Like you are a freshly hatched human larva, and this is just all a big school hive rumpus respite. Humans aren't hatched as larvae, dummy. We don't hatch at all. We are born as these little pink monkeys called babies. BS! That's not what you just told me. What did I say? I'll paste what you said. I thought you didn't like going down that road, copy and pasting future past conversations. Well, why would I have a problem with that? I don't know. I mean, that's just what you told me. Whatever, look. This is really weird. What's so weird about it? Well, normally humans hatch from these slimy pods. Then we wriggle out as little pink larvae. Oh, really? Huh. Maybe we have more common than I thought. I was punking you, dude. Or at least I will be in our next conversation. Thanks for the great prank idea. Arrgh. Why would you trick me about that? What is even the point? I don't know. I mean, it was just a friendly prank. I mean, don't you guys ever play pranks? I mean, of course you do. Why don't you just try to prank me? Good. What? Who? You'll find out. Well, fine. I guess you got my back, sort of. For my trolling. Even though you haven't even read my worst trolling efforts yet. Because they happened in your future. And even then, you didn't mind much. Almost like you were delighted to hear it. Huh. Kind of reverse, really. What's wrong with you? Well, we're friends by then, aren't we? I mean, sort of like, reverse anti-mutual friends? What the heck does that even mean? Look, you're gonna have to face at some point that you're learning the meaning of this human emotion, and it's called friendship. Is friendship really an emotion? Yeah, absolutely. I guess it's hard to see how we become friends. This is so frustrating. Every time I go further back in your past to talk to you, you say stuff that explains my immediate future. And then you won't explain to me what's going on, because it's already old news for you. Dude, you've been doing the exact same thing. I've done no such thing. I've been exceptionally informative and helpful. I've justifiably acrimonious. You never answer any of my questions, though. How am I supposed to know what's going on and what you're alluding to? This game is kind of a game of a million guides. Everywhere you turn, there's another way to figure out what's going on, so please, ghost and creep me in Earth River through your strange human tear ducts. You got sprites, exiles, guardians, consorts, time-hopping future selves, mystical dream oracle doppelgangers. Well, if that wasn't enough, your particular group of players is lucky enough to have us give you the scoop on stuff through a sort of subversion of the whole dang thing. Even though we hate you. Even though the fact that we hate you is an immutable fact, as intolerable, as unalterable as this writhing knot of heck of a timeline choking us all to death. It does not mean we have any reason to withhold any information from you. Or dish it out through crypto-baffling mind fuddlery. So go ahead, ask me anything. Okay. What's the point of the game? Ask something else. I already told you that. It was a whole big conversation. Arrgh! Fine. Well, where are you now? In the medium. Separate session from yours. No, I know that. You already told me. I did? Yeah, in the future. Dang it. What I mean is, are you in your house right now, or are you in your magical lands, or what? Just curious, cause you could see me. But I can't see or know anything about you. We're hiding in the veil. What's left of it. What's that? It's a huge belt of meteors orbiting way outside Skya, beyond the orbits of the planets, dividing the medium from the furthest ring where Durs orbits. Durs? You know, the dark planet. Prospects the light one near Skya. Well, geez, how am I supposed to know any of this? Well, you'll probably find out sooner or later from your dumb grandma. But by fusing with the sprite, she had to withhold stuff and be mysterious and all. To make any adventure seem more magical. It's infuriating. Okay, so the veil is a bunch of meteors. What do you mean what's left of it? Okay, there comes a time when black inevitability beats white. On the battlefield in the center of Skya, the White King is captured or killed or something. And that's when the reckoning starts. Okay. We see the rulers of the Durs, the Black King and Queen. They get the power to send the veil to Skya to destroy it. Well, that kind of starts a big countdown. You know, when the stuff gets serious. So then it's up to us to save it? Yeah. You had that long to kill the Black Queen and King. The sky itself sort of buys you some time by activating its advanced portals to catch some of the meteors. The threat gets bigger the longer you take, though. Smaller meteors come first, and then get progressively bigger and bigger. There's only so much of them Sky can absorb for you. Okay, but sounds like we got plenty of time before that happens, right? Well, that's just it. You don't. Ordinarily you would, but your reckoning starts much sooner, because of some dumb things you've already done. You completely blew it already and have no chance of winning anymore. Which ordinarily would be fine. It's just another bunch of losers who fail at this game. It's what you do later that causes so much more trouble than that, and then we have to deal with it too. Oh no, what is it? I already told you. It's inevitable and completely pointless to talk about anyway. Yeah, well, maybe you're wrong. Maybe there's something we could do to still stop it. If you just help us. I'm not wrong. It's all right here in front of me. You mess up royally. It's the end of the story. Okay, well, we'll see about that, Mr. Sour Hey, aren't you that kind of uncomfortable sitting on a meteor? Are you huddled in a crater or something? No, there's all sorts of crazy stuff in the Veil. A lot of these meteors are kind of like big seeds. Seeds? Well, what kind of crazy stuff is there? You know, stuff like buildings, facilities, like labs and stuff. That's weird. Yeah, the Veil is kind of like neutral ground for the kingdoms, like a planet. Some planets are used to genetically engineer soldiers and agents for the two sides, use genetic material from the exotic menagerie or chess pieces on the battlefield. You know, to help fuel the war and keep raising the stakes. Wow, I don't think I'm following this. Yeah, no duh, Sherlock. But you'll find out when you get there. Since you were in the Veil when we last talked. Anyway, that's more than enough info for you to think about, and I'll be less stupid in time for conversation we already had. I'm out of here. Okay, but wait. Can you give a message to CG for me? GC for me. Not CG, you're CG. GC. Tell her nice try. What? Why would I give a message to you? Do yourself. I'm not a relay service. Oh, well, I thought you'd be cool with it since you asked me to give her a message for you last time, but you know, whatever. I find that highly implausible. I'm not falling for any more of your human pranks. Nice try, John. Ascend. You know, I'm feeling like we got a lot of plot in this page. You know what I mean? 1667 seems really important.
Make her a member of the midnight crew.
The Durs. You know, I really like these videos. I really like the songs. End of year one. I was trying to say, I really like the videos. I really like songs. I just think they're kind of information overload sometimes because they come at you so fast with so much stuff that it's really hard to like follow along with all this stuff that's happening. You know what I mean? It's like you have to go back and watch it over and over and over again to fully understand everything that's happening. But I really like it. I just think it happens so fast. And of course, the music is great, especially by Toby. Look at the fourth wall. Unlocked album Homestuck Volume 4. Activate. Engage in highly indulgent self-insertion into story? What? What? Oh, heck no. This is always such a terrible idea. Leave me alone. Examine the wall. I really wish your side of the wall had an off switch. Which is to say, I really wish my side of the wall had an off switch. Forget it. Go back to work. Okay, you're just trying to ask me to recap Homestuck, though. I don't know why you want me to sit here and watch me type. This is going to be pretty long. Recap the first year of Homestuck. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. Y'all get yourself comfortable. Are these take me back to the pages? Yes, these take me back to the pages. Okay. You know, this might not have been a bad stopping point for our series because we get a giant recap here. It might not be. This might not be a bad stopping point. I know it was recommended page 1988. But this right here, this recap would be like really, really good. But I'm going to continue on for now. Let's read, shall we? Homestuck began on April 13, 2009, the 13th birthday of our chief protagonist and future boy Skylark, John Egbert. 3 days prior was supposed to be the day he received the Suburb beta in the mail, but it was running late. It showed up later that afternoon, and after overcoming a variety of domestic adversities, he retrieved the game, along with a birthday package from his internet friend, Dave Strider. John soon established a game connection with another friend, Rosa Lalonde, who spent the day badgering him about playing with her, after unsuccessfully attempting to convince Dave to play. Upon connecting, Rose was able to manipulate John's environment, move his furniture around via cursor, and restructure the shape of his room. John was unable to do this to Rose's environment, however. He'd installed a client copy of the beta, but required the server copy for that. The server copy was trapped in his dad's car, along with a birthday package from another friend, Jade Hardley. Jade messaged John inquiring about the package. As of this moment, neither her package nor the server copy has been recovered by John. Rose had also prepared a package for John, but had not mailed it yet. It still sits in the room. Dave's package contained authentic stuffed bunny from Con Air. In addition to allowing Rose to control John's environment, Suburb provided an array of devices Rose deployed throughout John's house. The devices used together provided a system by which the players can manufacture any item using the code on the back of the item's capture log card, if they gathered enough grist to pay for it. Later, they would learn to combine item cards to master the art of punch card alchemy, whereby items could be fused together in purpose and design. One device, on being activated, began a countdown and released an entity called Kernel Sprite. The countdown ticked down to the moment John's house would be struck by a meteor, destroying his neighborhood. To escape this demise, John had to use the devices to manufacture a special item that looked like a blue apple and take a bite of it, in order to transport his entire house just before impact to the safety of a mysterious dark realm, where his house would situate itself atop a tall rock column high above a blanket of clouds. This realm is called the Medium. Before he entered the Medium, though, John and Rose prototyped his Kernel Sprite with the large Harlequin doll his dad got him for his birthday, transforming the sprite to bear its likeness, including the ways the doll was disfigured via earlier hijinks. It had a slash eye and one arm, and so too did the sprite. When John entered the medium, the sprite's kernel hatched, thus imbuing all the enemies John and his friends would face with properties of the sprite. The lesser adversaries John faced first, the shell imps, all wore Harlequin garbs. They became more powerful, more periodically mutated with each successive pre-medium prototyping. So these are the clowns. Yeah. After entering the medium, John's dad was kidnapped by imps. While John was looking for him, he accidentally prototyped the sprite, with his grandmother's ashes transforming it again. This prototype had no effect on the enemy since he was already in the medium, and the kernel had already been hatched. Instead, only the sprite was affected and took on the appearance, personality, and memories of his grandmother, becoming Nana Sprite, a game supplied, albeit customized guide for John. She explains some aspects of the game, about Sky residing at the center of the medium, beyond 7 gates floating directly above his house, and about an external timeless war, fought there between dark and light, one that light was always destined to lose. Rose, who had been having frequent internet connection issues, lost her connection as she tried to lift John's car to retrieve the game and the package. The car fell into the abyss below. A storm caused the house to lose power along with its wireless internet connection. Her laptop was able to run on battery power for a time, while she was tapped into the wireless signal from the laboratory next door. When her laptop ran out of power, she had to overcome more family strife and endure a gift pony in the process, go outside in the rain, and plug into a small generator outside the mausoleum of a dead cat Jasper's. She continued her session with John inside the mausoleum, while the meteor-sparked forest fire surrounding her house grew more intense. From the house, Rose's mom opened a secret passage in the mausoleum to help her escape. The passage led to the lab next to the door, where Rose found a stable, portable supply of power and internet for her computer. She also found a terminal projecting the impact times and locations for millions of meteors presently bombarding the planet, along with all the other live sessions of other players around the world. She also found a little girl's room, a mutant kitty she named Vodka Mutini, and a clothing machine operating through the science of ectobiology. Its terminal was locked to the cat Jasper's at whatever point in his life the user specified. Vodka Mutini. Aww. Yeah, Vodka Mutini purrs at your side. You suppose you would call it Muti for short. She attempted to purify Jasper from the moment in her earlier childhood before he whispered his secret to her, but doing so would have caused a paradox, so it paradoxified Apollo's slime instead. The machine used the slime to create a fetal paradox clone of Jasper's in a glass tube. On the monitor, Jasper then told young Rose the secret, then vanished, only to show up dead weeks later and put in the mausoleum for years until the present. Rose left the laboratory moments before it was destroyed by immediate impact. She transportalized back to her mom's room, proceeded to her room to wait for Dave to connect with her, and rescue her from the next imminent impact. Dave was charged with acquiring his bro's copy of the game to help Rose. Earlier, he had lost his copy of the game to a mishap involving a crow. It flew in his window, seized the game, and Dave accidentally impaled it with his sword, sending the crow and the game out the window and landing far below his apartment. He searched his bro's room, unable to find it, was briefly shadowed by Lil Cal, and then found a note beckoning him to meet on the roof for a confrontation. Dave and his bro dueled on the roof extensively, and Dave was thoroughly bested. Upon defeating Dave, his bro dropped the copies of the game and flew off on his rocket board into the sky. Dave used the copies to connect with Rose, and quickly deployed the devices while her house was on fire. Surrounded by flaming tornadoes and minutes away from being destroyed by a meteor, Rose prototyped a kernel sprite with Jasper's, specifically to understand the meaning of the secret he whispered to her years ago. She was advised to do this first by Jade, who told her about the game in the first place. Dave then prototyped the kernel sprite again with the tentacled princess doll given to Rose on her birthday by her mom. Both of these prototypings would have an effect on the enemies once Rose entered the medium and the kernel hatched. Rose used the alchemister to create the special item for her, a purple wine bottle, which she needed to break to enter. She eventually did, transporting a house just before the meteor collided. The meteor left a crater. Over time, at the site of impact, a large white structure that looked like a wine bottle grew there, and the crater filled up with sand as the climate of the post-apocalyptic Earth gradually changed. The cork of that bottle was a large metal cylinder with an interior much like an advanced science station, with a variety of devices and monitors inside. 413 years after the meteor impact, the wayward vagabond walked through the desert and discovered the station. Inside, he found canned rations, a firefly he named Serenity, and a purifier, and 4 monitors hooked up to a keyboard. On one of the monitors was John. Just after he'd entered the medium, WV could type commands to John directly, much as the readers of the story could type commands to the characters to follow. Most of John's actions upon entering the medium were authored by WV, until he became preoccupied with other activities such as building a town out of cans, playing chess with cans, and drawing chalk murals depicting the cosmological arrangement of Skya, the medium, the light and dark planets known as Prospit and Durs, and the 4 planets the kids would each occupy upon entering the game, called the Land of Wind and Shade, John, the Land of Light and Rain, Rose, the Land of Heat and Clockwork, Dave, and Jade's planet, which is yet to be seen. He also activated a countdown in the station, which caused it to blast out of the crater and fly to the designated home coordinates. Along the way, it passed over the sand-filled center that was the impact site for John's meteor. On the other side of the continent, John's meteor had caused a giant white tree to grow in the crater. The tree grew an apple-like station from a branch which fell to the sand. The Peregrine Medicamp found the station. After WV flew overhead, PM activated her station's homing feature as well, which caused it to fly to the same destination. Along the way, she used her terminal to attempt to command Jade, who from the perspective of the terminal had just arrived in the medium. This caused the terminal to explode for unknown reasons, leaving a hole in the station. One of the station's robotic worms recovered one of PM's falling mailboxes, and she befriended it, after early slaying another one with her black Regisword. Oh. So these are... Yeah. So these take me to pictures. Okay, so these take me to pictures. These take me to pages. So maybe click on the pages, but not the pictures, but not the pages. Where are we at? WV landed at the site of the ancient fog ruins across the now dried up Pacific Ocean. The site was once a island where Jade lived, but nothing on the island remained except for the ruins. The mountain her house was on, and the volcano next to it were replaced by a large empty chasm. PM landed shortly after WV and they met. They were confronted by the aimless renegade who fired at them from the fog ruins where the old weaponry he had been hoarding, once belonging to Jade's grandpa. Millions of years ago, the fog ruins grew from a crater, struck by a meteor that emerged from a suburb portal in space. Jade's radioactive omnipotent space-whooping dog named Bacale emerged from this crater as well. And we can see Bacale. Oh. Well, we'd have to watch the video. Alright. We know who Beck is. Jade's grandpa pioneered this island and built the house Jade lives in. Her grandpa has been dead for many years and stands stuffed in front of the fireplace. She has been looked after by a dog she calls Beck. She begins the day with several tasks accomplished to feed Beck and to retrieve a birthday package mailed by John. She irradiates the steak and heads outside to the site where the package will be dropped. She knows it will be dropped there because one of the reminders she wears on her fingers jogs her memory about it. She wears them to keep track of the many things she knows about the future through dreams. She falls asleep frequently and spontaneously. When she sleeps, her dream self is awake and living on the moon that orbits the light planet Prospit. Prospit very closely orbits Skya, a huge sphere of blue sky and clouds, which Nana describes as a dormant crucible of unlimited creative potential. When Prospit's moon eclipses Skya, it drifts into Skya for a time, mingling with the clouds. Dream Jade then witnesses many past and future events in the clouds. While asleep, she is often confused about what is real and what isn't. When she wakes up, she pieces together future events from her memory of the cloud visions and from the logs recorded by her dreambot. Her dreambot is a robotic surrogate that activates while she sleeps in her bed and mimics in the real world the movement and actions of her dream self on the moon, and records a video log of what she sees while dreaming. Prospit's moon has 2 towers of identical design and similar design to Jade's house. Dream Jade lives in one tower, Dream John lives on the other. Dream John is still asleep, and John has no knowledge of the dream world, which is to say the entire game session. He would initiate on his 13th birthday. Map of the Incisisphere. So we have the True Veil going around. We have Durs here. The Land of Wind and Shade, Loas. Land of Light and Rain, Lolar. The Land of Heat and Karwak, Loak. And then, of course, the 4th planet here. And we have Sky and Prospect here. When he goes to sleep, instead of waking up on the moon as Jade does, he remains slumbering in his dream room, tormented by his subconscious. This torment is expressed when he sleepwalks and draws troubling scribbles on the wall of his room. When awake, he cannot see the scribbles, as his subconscious suppresses his awareness of them. It is not until he has a perception-altering revelation about his dad does he begin to see them. He initially believed they were new additions to his room, perhaps scrawled by imps. However, they were present long before, visible in his room while he prepared Jade's birthday package months ago. John prepared a package for each of his 3 friends, whose 13th birthdays were December 1st Jade, 3rd Dave, and 4th Rose. He gave Rose a knitting set, and she then took an intense interest knitting. He gave Dave the pair of shades Ben Stiller wore in Starsky and Hutch, which he wore from then on, replacing the shades in the style his beau wore. He gave Jade a blue version of his own ghost shirt and some pumpkin seeds to help her replace the pumpkins that kept disappearing from her garden. But she did not receive this on the birthday John intended. She received it in the past, on a birthday when she was very young, causing her to take an interest in gardening in the first place, to take a liking to blue apparel, and to eventually befriend John over the internet and lead him, Rose, and Dave down a path where they ultimately play this game together. Jade did retrieve his package in the present as planned, but immediately took it to another location where it disappeared. WV in the far future out-purified it from the location on accident. The package contained further instructions for him. He was to bring it to PM, and she was to use their station sendficator to send it to another place and time. After she did this, the package appeared in front of young Jade on her birthday. Jade orchestrated the sequence of events through knowledge of them by her cloud's visions. She orchestrated similar events for the packages she sent to John, plotting the circuitous route through time and space it was meant to follow. She again utilized the exiles for help, while they were still in the medium. The exiles, WV, PM, and AR, were all formerly agents of the kingdoms, before they were exiled by some means to post-apocalyptic Earth. AR, as an authority regulator in the land of wind and shade, discovered the package and the beta copy in John's wrecked car as he gave it a parking ticket. PM, working as a parcel mistress, recognized the package from a correspondence she had with Jade on Prospect some time ago, and recalled it must be delivered to John. AR would not relinquish the package, so he did give her the beta, which she delivered into a Pyxis to satisfy the carved request of a mini tablet. John carved this tablet at the request of PM through the command terminal in the future. All this timey-wimey stuff going on. AR brought the package to Durst, where it ultimately wound up on the desk of Jack Noir. Jack is the archagent of the Dark Kingdom, charged with overseeing affairs through his office's fenestrated wall portals and processing paperwork. He is forced to wear a silly garment in keeping with prototype themes by the Black Queen, an order he resentfully complies with. He oversaw the imprisonment of John's dad, who broke loose on multiple occasions. When Jack went to handle it personally, John's dad set Jack's hat on fire. In a surly act of gratitude, he released the prisoner. John's dad fled to the land of wind and shade, fought large monsters, got his hat dirty, and lost a shoe. He then carved tablet requests for the new ones, which John filled via Pyxis, unaware of who requested them. PM followed AR to Durst in hopes of retrieving the package. After wandering around, she encountered the Black Queen on her throne. Both the Light and Dark Kingdoms each have a king and a queen. The queens sit on a throne, on Prospect and Durst respectively, ruling the planet. The kings command armies on the battlefield located at the center of Skya. The queen takes on the attributes supplied by the prototypings due to the 4-orbed ring she wears. When the ring is removed, the queen is restored to normal. PM showed the BQ a parking ticket she was pretending to deliver. The BQ directed her to Jack's office where the ticket should be filed. PM met Jack and asked for the package. Jack proposed a deal and gave her a black Regisword. If she would kill the White Queen and White King and bring him their crowns, he would give her the package. She accepted with little alternative. She then visited the WQ on Prospect and explained the situation. With no intention of carrying out Jack's mission, the WQ, understanding the futility of her situation and need to recover the package, abdicated and gave PM her crown and her ring. PM was instructed to go find the White King, retrieve his crown, and receive further instructions on what to do with the ring to protect it. WQ would then eventually exile herself to post-apocalypse Earth. On post-apocalypse Earth, after AR fired on WV and PM from the ruins, he spotted WV's pumpkin, which WV had early purified from Jade's house. He recognized the carving of Beck's silhouette on the pumpkin. Fearful of it, he surrendered. The three exiles soon became friends over a campfire and shared rations. WV and AR built Exile Town out of cans, mailboxes, and bullets. PM operated WV's station terminal to submit commands to John as he explored the land of wind and shade. In the sky, another station teleported and fell to the ground. It was shaped like an egg and originated from Dave's meteor impact site. In correspondence with the egg-shaped item he would use to enter the medium, emerging from the station was the windswept Crescent, formerly the White Queen. AR and WV sought to impress WQ by crafting a crown for her out of a mailbox. She refused the distinction, instead giving it to PM, who had successfully completed her mission to deliver Jay's package to John in the distant past. The means by which she went about this have yet to be seen. John entered the land of wind and shade, Loas, by having Rose build up his house to the first gate, fighting through the many imps and ogres with his powerful new alchemized weapons and entering the gate. This took him to a location beneath the clouds, far below his house. The Loas turned out to be a large windy planet, full of dark terrain, incandescent trees, networks of pipes, and oily rivers. In addition to hosting more powerful adversaries, the land is occupied by friendly consorts, a race of salamanders who are adorable. They help John understand the mythos of the land and inform him of the planet's persecution by a sleeping denizen, which is responsible for clogging the pipes with oil and trapping fireflies under the clouds. Each planet has a sleeping denizen, which the players must first wake and then kill in the course of their journey through the 7 gates. Rose's planet, the land of light and rain, Lolar, is a multicolored ocean planet with white sandy islands and pink ruins, and has a denizen responsible for killing all life in the water. Dave's planet, the land of heat and clockwork, Lohak, is a lava planet covered in industrial steel frame structures and turning gears, and has a denizen of yet unknown qualities. Killing the denizens release a huge grist horde buried at the core of the planet, which is then used to fuel a process known as the ultimate alchemy. Along the way, the kids are meant to learn about their destined roles in this quest as the heir of breath, John, the seer of light, Rose, the knight of time, Dave, and the witch of space, Jade. Over the course of the quest, the Dark Kingdom will inevitably defeat the Light Kingdom. The Black King and Queen will take control and initiate the reckoning. This affects a belt of meteors called the Veil, which orbits far from Skya. Between the 4 planets endures and is host to various lab facilities used by the kingdoms. The reckoning caused the meteors to descend on Skya, ultimately destroying it, unless the Black King and Queen can be defeated in time. Skya, however, buys time by opening defense portals to catch many of the meteors, redirecting them elsewhere in space and time. This is the most generic template by the way the game is supposed to proceed. It can deviate from this model, however, depending on the actions of the players, and the details of the game mythology present is unique to each group of players and their session. Long before John and his friends start playing the game, another group of players have been persistently trolling them, particularly Jade. They are furious about an action she will take that will cause major problems in the 4 kids game session, and inevitably lead to their defeat. Specifically, Jade will send a package to John, apparently containing a powerful weapon he will need later, but the package winds up in the hands of Jack Noir, leading to dire consequences. They allude to other things she will do that will lead to not only trouble for the 4 kids, but the troll players as well. The trolls consist of 12 kids from an alien planet. 12? 12? I thought 12? Who went through the same process as John and his friends, escaping from the annihilation of the planet via meteors and into the medium to play the game. The game session is entirely separate from that of the 4 kids. It has the same basic template with its own sky, a prospect, Durst, Vale, and a planet for each troll, with separate game instances of these. They also have different instances of the same game character templates, such as the kings and queens and agents like Jack Noir. The trolls have completed their game session with yet unknown results. They now reside on a meteor in the Vale, sitting at terminals trolling John and company. From their terminals, they can choose any point in the past or future of the kids to troll and observe what they are doing at that moment. As a group, their only stated objective is to harass the kids, which they do so haphazardly throughout different points in the kids' timeline. Though they can choose any point in the kid's timeline to talk, they are mostly resigned to understanding of the no matter what they do, they can't change the outcome of the kid's actions. The four most vociferous trolls so far have been CG, GC, GA, and AT. The other 8 being Apocalypse Arisen, Twin Armageddons, Arsenic Catnip, Arachnic Script, Centaur's Testicle, Terminally Capricious, Gilligan's Aquarium, and Cuddle Fishcaller, each yet to be heard from. Carcinogenesis, CG, appears to have spearheaded the group's trolling campaign. While he was in the thick in his game session, the exile committing him from a terminal in the apocalyptic future was Spade Slick. This is one difference between his game session and John's, who had WV as an exile committing him. In CG's session, his version of Jack Noir became exiled along the way and took on the name Spade Slick. 3 other agents were exiled, and the 4 of them formed a gang called the Midnight Crew, and spent years building up a dark city in the future wasteland of the Troll's dead planet. Another difference in the Troll session is that at some point along the way, the Black Queen was also exiled, later joined a rival gang called the Felt, assumed special powers that make her highly inadvisable to kill, and come to known as the Snowman. It was not until Slick confronted the Felt in their mansion that he discovered the station terminal to command CG, and not before Snowman blinded him with one eye, severed his arm, and locked him in a vault. Each troll has a different trolling strategy, and a different rhythm by which they hop around the kid's timeline to chat with them. CG's strategy, for the most part, was to begin trolling them at the very end of their adventure, the moment at which the most was angry with their actions, and then gradually work backwards, mostly talking to John. This proves to be mutually frustrating, though, as John knows less and less about the situation the further into the past CG goes. Similarly, the further into the future John progresses, the more he has the advantage over CG by knowledge of his future conversations with him and vice versa. Over the course of the opposing directions of the two sides of the conversation, John learns more about the nature of the game and why they're being trolled, and in spite of hostility, they gradually befriend each other through an inevitably alluded to on both sides of the conversation. Early in the correspondence between John and CG, which is to say late for CG, CG discovers he needs to get in touch with Jade, who refuses to talk to him in that time period, so he delivers a message to her much earlier, months in their past, telling her she needs to contact him when she's in trouble. She will know what to do this when the Dreambot explodes in the future, an outcome that has not yet happened. 2 other trolls, Grim Auxiliatrix and Adios Toreador, GA and AT, have targeted only Rose and Dave thus far. GA has hopped arbitrarily back and forward in Rose's timeline to talk to her, and is attempting to cultivate a friendship with her that now seems rigged through a series of conversational time loops, while seeking counsel from Dave on how to befriend her. AT sought counsel from Rose on how to troll Dave more effectively, after getting severely counter-trolled by him. He was under the impression he rebounded nicely, though. Gallows Calibrator, GC, has stayed mostly linear in her trolling patterns, and has done so under the guise of helping the kids on their quest. She convinces John to take a shortcut through his land, shows him the Deniz's palace, leads him to warp back to his house, then shows him how to fix the faulty rocket pack he made earlier through an alchemy mishap. She tells him to use the rocket pack to fly up to the 7th gate, enter the Deniz's palace, and kill it in his sleep. He complied with this and flew through the 7th gate, in spite of reservations from Dave, who just entered the medium the moment before John took off. GC also assisted Rose, just after she bested an ogre with ease. She counseled her on understanding the role of Seer of Light, and then the meaning of the voice in her head as an exile issuing commands from her terminal. In her case, it was the exiled White Queen issuing commands from the egg-shaped station in the future. Since Dave is Rose's server player, the terminal station from Dave's impact site issues commands to Rose, just as the station at Rose's site, which WV found, issues commands to John, her client player. After conversing with GA, Rose found Jasper Sprite and interrogated him about the secret which she found so maddeningly mysterious years ago. He explained elements of the mythos of her land and how she learned to play the rain to produce some musical, and how she need to learn to play the rain to produce a musical analog of a genetic code to reintroduce life into the ocean. In response to a question about the secret, he simply replied, "Meow." She mistook this for more nonsense, but was in fact the secret he told her years ago. The 4-letter sequence meow unlocked a genetic code in her subconscious, where she would spend years scrawling on a wall using these letters in place of the typically used GCAT letters. While completely oblivious to the spellings and the meaning just as John was, As Jasper said, she would understand the meaning when her dream self wakes up. Ooh. Rose's dream self lives in a tower on the moon of Durst. Dave's dream self lives on the same moon in the other tower. It was suggested by Rose's future self, who was fully awake in the tower, that Dave had already been awake in the tower all along without realizing it. This was suggested in a conversation she had in the future with Dave. It was an alternative future, timeline not meant to be. The future timeline came about by this series of events. Dave was able to enter the medium by connecting with Jade as the server player. Jade got copies of the game from the Fog Ruins after she delivered John's package to the past self. She snuck into the ruins while Beck was asleep and retrieved the game from a Lotus time capsule which had been ticking down for millions of years. The game was Dave's copy from the future, the same one that fell out of the window with the impaled crow. Once she got the game, the time capsule started ticking down again, set to expire 413 years later. When the exiles are there, she drops some items in the ruins, leaving them for AR to find, and leaving her fast jammed in the elevator. Beck then found her there, took her back to her room, and grounded her there for the rest of the evening. She quickly helped Dave set up the game, upgrading his alchemister heavily, and crafting the special item he needed to enter the medium, a red egg, which needed to be incubated and hatched to activate. She prototyped his kernel sprite with the impaled crow, which would affect the enemies later, including the Black Queen. The sprite built a nest on top of his apartment's antenna tower, stole the egg to incubate it for hours. A very large meteor was soon bearing down on the city. Dave then entered the medium through a series of unseen events. Jada was asleep. Then, forbidden by Dave from interacting with his environment at all, Jade complied for fear of retribution. Dave was faced with a crow sprite, which appeared to be suggesting he prototype it again with the remains of a locale. Dave consulted with John on this, who was about to rocket up to the 7th gate. John had no advice and proceeded up through the gate against better judgment. Dave prototyped the sprite with Cal. John entered the palace, presumably found the denizen, and was easily killed by it, as was the intent of GC's trick on him. This meant John could not establish a connection with Jade to rescue her from the looming meteor, and Dave and Rose lost contact with her, presuming her dead. Dave and Rose then spent the next 4 months in the medium, advancing as far as they could to collect information before Dave decided to travel back in time to change events. Dave used his timetables to go back at the moment he was about to prototype with Cal. Both he and his past self strongly urged John not to go through the gate. John was reluctant at first, but soon reconsidered and flew down beneath the clouds. Future Dave then gave present Dave all his advanced gear and prototyped the crow sprite with himself to make Dave's sprite, thus serving as his own guide from the future. Before going back in time, future Dave convinced future Rose to go to sleep. He suggested her dream self would be unaltered by the timeline shift, and in her dream state she would remember the events from the future. When Dave went back, Rose's future dream self assumed the position of Rose's present dream self. Rose fell asleep, and on Durst's moon she instantly woke up. She then saw all the genetic scrawling she did in meow letters and understood their meaning. Meanwhile, on Durst below, the Black Queen again insisted that Jack Noir abide by the dress code. He refused, and the Queen threatened him. He picked up Jade's package to John, removed what was inside, and used it to slice her ring finger off. He then killed the Black Queen, put on the ring, and donned the full upgrade supplied by the 3 prototypings. He then became Jaxper's Noracraw, which is name I just made up now. Hold on, let me drop main Harlequin into Colonel Sprite. That was a long time ago. Okay, that was page 1149. And the seizure. Wow, it all pieced that together. Jaxper's Noracrow. And then after that, you started watching me type in this ridiculous study. Oh, it's a nice study. I photoshopped for myself. Oh, it took me to a link to Photoshop. With my cool house painting popped up in the background. I didn't even know that. Do something less boring. I read all of that. Shut the heck up. Retrieve arm from background. Huh? Oh, Cal, please not now. Why don't you keep drawing Homestuck or something? Oh, I don't merely draw Homestuck. Type, I'm about to make a joke. Okay. Wahahaha. I conjure this intrepid fantasy-scape with tears bled from the wisdom-weary eyes of 50,000 imaginary magicians. I pull heavy drags from the bones of inspiration with enchanted bellows marauded from a guild of churlish mythical dwarves. Vast, bulbous riddle spheres push the silken strands of pure whimsy thoughts through hideous abdominal spinnerets, and is that which I weave that audacious cocoon of exquisite lies. And when it hatches, a great moth of titillation will awaken and roar and beat its wings, and the powder settling down will arrest the humors of an enormous, terrible old beggar, relaxing the vulturous, leathery vice grip he's fixed around your creative mind. Ah, stupid. Stop being a wise button, get drawing. Alright, it won't be that exciting to watch, though. I'll pull up Photoshop again. Here's a file I was using for the fourth wall. What do you want me to draw? Can you show us what's going on with John again? Sure. How about if I drag the content from one of that John files under the fourth wall layer, so we can make a more graceful transition out of that ludicrous, highly disruptive self-insertion arc? That sounds like a good idea. Okay, then you could type something like switch walls view. Ooh. It's only using Photoshop. Switch walls view to show us what's going on with John. Here, I'll prepare the GIF file for that, or GIF file, whatever you call it. It'll just take a few seconds. Go ahead, just say it. Say that. Switch walls view to show us what's going on with John. Whoa, that's cool. You decide what that's entirely enough for that. If this website becomes any more self-aware in a playfully self-deprecating, yet while weirdly self-aggrandizing manner, you're going to go down a huge pack of puppies in the sewer. Answer GC. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop here for today. And I think this may be our final episode for a while. I haven't decided. Like, I'm still 300 pages from 1988 or whatever. What page is it? 1988. But at the same time, I really feel like this may be a good stopping point because I can always go back and reread that log again to see what's going on. And if this is the last video for a while, I'm going to be stopping for about a month. I'm going to pick back up in December. So, you know, in December, there'll be more Homestuck, and we'll continue on with this series. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to give a thumbs up as always. If you like what you see, it helps the growth of the channel, and it helps me a lot, and it helps me know that you like what you see. But for now, I'm going to take a pause. I may be back for more later this week, but I haven't decided. I'll post a community post one way or another. But I love you guys all so very much. Thank you for everything. You all are the #1 YouTube community in all of YouTube. And I can't thank you enough for everything. And don't worry, I will complete Homestuck from beginning to end within, I don't know, what, a year or two? It's going to take a while. It's a long story. It's going to take a while. It's almost like if you're reading... It's almost like if you're reading something like the Harry Potter books, like, you know, I was reading those as they were coming out and you had to wait for the next book. It's kind of like that. We just got to wait a while for the next book, but we don't have to wait long. We don't have to wait a year or two. We just have to wait about a month. So, hey, you guys have a wonderful, fantastic, amazing, awesome day. I will talk to you again very soon. And until next time, so long and take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you'd like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. But before we go, please remember that you matter, and you are brilliant, and you are loved, and you should always be true to yourself. Never let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly, feathered, flightless bird.